Okay, I got the little laser sooner than I expected, so that's good. So I mounted it onto this thing by just using the screws here, and I use this little thing for a screwdriver. If you actually have a screwdriver, you can use that. But all you do is you just put it in the little slot of the screw, and then you can just tighten it into place. And it slides on just like that. You see how it has those two little feet? It slides up underneath of this thing. And it doesn't matter how far up or back you slide. I just put kind of in the middle, and then there you go. And you turn it on the side here. So remember from the other video I said to pull that little piece of plastic out so it engages the battery, and this turns the little laser on and off. When the two white dots are facing each other, it's off. You'll hear it click. To show you what it looks like, I'll see if I can line this up. When I turn it on, you'll see that little red light in there. You can change the brightness of the light. And all you do is you just point that at the star or the moon or whatever you want to look at, and then your scope is pointed at it too. So the whole point of this is you're looking at it directly up the scope. It's a lot easier than trying to look at it sideways and then try to move your scope around. So that's the purpose of that. And we'll have to align it, but I'll make a separate video for that. And the way we align it is with these other knobs that move this up and down, left and right a little bit, so that it's perfectly aligned with the telescope. So make sure your weights are all the way at the bottom. So just remember, you loosen them, you can slide them. I just put them all the way down at the bottom, touching this little orange thing here. Make sure these screws are tight. And the way you move your telescope so that it goes up and down is with this little knob right here. So if you want to go up, let me back this out. If you want to go up, you turn it clockwise, so you see the telescope going up. And when you want to go down, you turn it counterclockwise. And those weights are what help to push it back down again. So that's how you go up and down with your telescope. So you look through this spotter scope with your laser on, and you move it up and down till you find your star or whatever it is you're trying to look at. Okay, so that's up and down. If you want to go side to side, never turn this knob. This is the knob that holds the orange piece, the whole telescope in place. So never, ever, ever touch this. In fact, I recommend putting like red tape or something, paint this red with red nail polish or whatever, so you know never to touch this one. You don't want to be at night and adjusting this and be accidentally loosening this, and your whole telescope will fall off. So I definitely recommend painting this one. It's the one that holds the orange piece on there, which is basically your whole telescope. But you do want to use is this one. So if you loosen this, you just have to loosen it. You don't have to unscrew it all the way. Just loosen it till it feels loose like that. Let me back out. And now you can turn your telescope side to side. Okay? And once you get it to where you want it, then you just come back here and you tighten it, just finger tight. So now it won't move. And then if you need to fine tune that turning, you can use this knob, and it just does it really slowly, and that really helps for like just fine adjustment. And that's all these big knobs are for. It's just for fine adjustment. But you do your major turning to like the initial turning to get to, you know, what star or whatever you want to look at by loosening that knob, and you do it this way. And then once you get it pretty close, because the earth rotates, the stars will seem like they're moving. Then you use these knobs to follow the star. And the knob, it's so slow and smooth that it's easy to track it. Because if you try to follow the star by loosening this and moving it, like even an adjustment like this is huge. So by doing these knobs, you can't even hardly see it. It very slowly moves the telescope. So we have up and down right here, like that. And then loosen this, and we have side to side. Okay? And then over here, we have this one right here, which you can loosen. And this one rocks it back and forth like this. So there's 3 movements, so I'll loosen all of them. And you have your up and down, side, left and right, and then side to side, like that. Okay? And always, once you find your star, make sure you tighten them down, and don't do them all at the same time. Do them one at a time. And it takes some getting used to, but you'll get the hang of it. And that's literally it. That's all you have to do. And then your fine adjustment. This one does the rocking side to side. See that? Like that. And then this one does the left to right. See how slowly it moves? So it's really easy for you. So you can go left and right with this, fine tune, and side to side with this one. And then up and down. That's up and down, like that. And always be careful when you're done with your telescope. I usually like to just put the weights all the way back up, so it's not so heavy, at the bottom, so it doesn't tip over or anything if you guys want to store the telescope when you're done using it. And then when you want to look at stars, you look through here, obviously. And remember, we put this one in. This one is the 10 millimeter. I recommend starting with that one because the field of view is bigger. So I put that in there. If it doesn't fit, just loosen these screws just a little bit. Slide it in. And then tighten both screws. Oh, and don't forget to take your cap off. So there's a little cap here in the middle and a bigger one. Just take off the whole thing. And then your scope is ready. And then you look through here, and this is for your focus, to focus in and out. So I recommend starting by looking for the moon. It'll take practice to look at stars because they're so small, but I would first practice looking just at the moon. And then you can work your way up to getting used to how the telescope is. So there it is. So let me just tighten everything down so it doesn't move, and there you go. I hope that made sense. And you can keep your other lens here. This is a more powerful lens. This is the 20 millimeter, but it's a little bit harder to find stars initially. Like you'll work your way up to it. And I'll explain these lenses later. So I hope that helps.